I absolutely love the season of spring, so in order to celebrate the change of the season this week, I am challenging myself to read only spring themed books, so let's get right into it. There will be dragon inside.
I finished the entire book.
Hello my friends, welcome to my channel Discover with Kim. I'm Kim, I'm so excited you're here with me today. Welcome to this week's reading vlog. This week, as I said, we are going to be reading only spring themed books. It is currently March 16th and Friday, March 20th is going to be the first day of spring, so I'm really excited to celebrate the first day of spring together and to just focus on reading spring books this week. So we're going to be getting right into it. I'm going to be grabbing a couple books that I think are spring themed, and then we'll be picking out my next read together. Let's get right into it, and let's read spring books together. Okay, I think that I have my shit together now. So, as you guys saw, the first thing I needed to do in this spring reading vlog was finish the book I was currently reading, and that was Play Along by Wisdom Forte. This is book number 4 in the Windy City series. I consider this a spring/summer book because it follows Isaiah. He is a baseball player. He's the shortstop for the Chicago baseball team. So baseball is a spring/summer sport, so I figured this is a spring/summer book, But this book, it was so good. Like I said, it follows Isaiah and it follows Kennedy. She is the school trainer for the baseball team. And then, like I said, Isaiah is the shortstop for the baseball team. And so it's forbidden because they work together. And she's also the only woman on the staff. So that is definitely something that she's very concerned about, is not getting involved with anybody who she works with. And a drunken fight in Vegas happens. One thing leads to another, and they end up married, and they end up having to stay married in order to save her job. And it is such a cute book because they both have their own trauma and issues that they're dealing with. They both have things in the past that they're dealing with, but they learn about each other and they learn about each other's issues and they help each other heal and grow. I think it was so sweet. It's definitely a slow burn. There is spice in this book. It's about a 3 out of 5 peppers for spice, but the spice is towards the second half of the book. It's not like right into it. and I loved it. It's a spicy sports romance. It's number 4 in the Windy City series, and I'm obsessed. I read this book, like I was in a reading slump at the beginning of this vlog, the end of last week, and I just pushed myself to get back into reading by reading this book, and as soon as I picked it back up, I was like, I'm hooked again, I'm hooked again. So definitely wasn't the book's fault. It was definitely my mood and my depression that was giving me a reading slump, and now that I finished it, I absolutely loved it, and I'm going to rate it a 4.75 out of 5 stars. It was amazing. It was so good. You guys saw that they had me crying, and they were like, "This is so sweet. I'm so happy. This is such a book." And I just like it wasn't like sad, devastated tears. They were like happy, romantic tears, if that makes sense. But I absolutely loved it. It was so sweet, and I love Isaiah. I love Kennedy, and I love this book. So if you want to read like a spicy adult romance, read the Windy City series. This book, I loved it. The 3 books I've read before, I loved them. So now it is time to move on to our next books. I want to give you guys a bit of a lowdown of some of the books I have on my spring TBR. These are the books that I think are kind of spring themed, spring inspired, kind of make me think of spring. So I'm gonna give you a quick lowdown of what the books are, and then if you want a little bit more on it, I did do a video on these books with some of the books in it, but these books are all in my spring book recommendations. So if you want to know a little bit more about them, watch that video. But I'm going to quickly go through the books, and then we're going to pick what my next read is going to be. So we have Long Season by Kira Azar, young adult fantasy novel. It's so beautiful, gives very spring vibes. I know it takes place in high season at the court. I don't really know much else about it. I also have Story of My Life by Lucy Score. This is a small town romance. It just gives me spring vibes. Like with a cute little bike on it and everything. It just gives me spring vibes. Another book I have is In the Weeds by P.K. Morrison. This again, look at that. That is 100% spring vibes. But this is again a romance, a contemporary romance. It is set on a Christmas tree farm. This one is part of a series. Oh, so is this. Oh, so is this. Okay, okay. Reverse. Let's go. This is number 1 in the series. I do not think book 2 is announced yet. If it is, this is the date. I don't think it is. This is book number 1 in a interconnected standalone romance series. Book number 2 is just released. It is called Mistakes Were Made. It looks like this. I am hoping to get it soon, but I do not have it yet. This is book number 2 in the series. It is the Love Light Farm series. This is the Love Light series. Book number 1 is Love Light Farm. It is already out, and then there's 2 more books in this series. They are both already released. They are, I don't know what they're called, but this is what they're called if you want to finish out the series. This is a 4-book interconnected standalone romance series, and it takes place on the Christmas tree farm. This one follows Beckett. He is like the handyman on the farm, the tree overseer on the farm, and Evelyn, she is a social media influencer. They had a couple steamy one-night stands, and now they're back in the same vicinity, and things are heating up again. I also have, I have a lot of romances. Apparently, spring this is romance to me, but this is Funny Story by Emily Henry. This again is a contemporary romance. This is standalone. I believe it's part of I think it's part of a slightly interconnected series, but I'm not sure. I don't read Emily Henry's books as series. I think it is part of one, but I'm not sure. If it is, I'll let you know. But yeah, Funny Story. This one is about our 2 main characters. Their significant others break up with them to be with each other. So they end up having to live together and get to know each other. And then I think like things start to get romantic. And then the final book I have is This Book Made Me Think of You by Lily Page. This is like a contemporary fiction book. In this book, our main character, her husband, has recently passed away, and every single month of the year, he has picked out a book for her at the bookstore, and she's supposed to go there and see what book he picks out. And I think a little note comes along with it, and then she kind of like gets back into life after loss. So that sounds really sweet and really cute. This one I feel like takes place throughout the entire year. So it's like springy, but also like literally any time of the year. I feel like I need to read it now because I don't want to read this like in August. I want to read it towards the beginning of the year. Those are my options. And if I am going to pick any of them, I think that I'm leaning towards either Thorn Season or This Book Made Me Think of You. These books just kind of give me the vibes I want. I've just read 2 romances in a row. I read Caught Up and then Play Along, and I need a break from romance. I'm not in the romance mood. So maybe we'll start by giving Thorn Season a try, and then if I'm not vibing it, we'll go into this which made me think of you, but we're going to start with Thorn Season in just a little bit. Okay, friends, so first things first, I was dumb and I put the laundry on before vlogging, which I should have done the opposite, but oopsies. So sorry if you can hear that in the background, but we have an update. First off, your girl got her haircut today, and yeah, I got literally a good like 8-9 inches off. So she's feeling so much lighter and so much fluffier. We got some long layers, so just feeling good. And yeah, so that is where we are at. And then we need to talk. Let's see. Might work. Okay, so as you guys know, I am reading Thorn Season. And so as you guys know, I've been trying to read Thorn Season, and there's nothing wrong with this book at all. In no way. The book is perfectly fine. I just don't think I'm in the mood for it right now. I think because I recently read The Rose Bargain, and I absolutely loved it. And they're very different books, but they're going to give similar vibes. And I think that with book number 2 and The Rose Bargain coming out in a couple weeks, I really just want to finish up that duology. And then Thorn Season, book number 2 for that doesn't come out until the fall. So I think like come fall, I'll read that, and it'll be like a fun little spring vibe in the fall. Because I feel like that would be, thanks, Django. Here's a butt for you guys, but I feel like that would be better. Like read it closer to when book number 2 comes out. And I'm just not really feeling it right now. And as a mood reader, if I'm not feeling it, I am not going to read. So yeah, I'm sorry if you can hear any of that. They're sniffing my camera. I have 4 cats in here with me, but yeah, as a mood reader, if I'm not feeling it, I'm not going to read. So I decided that I was going to scour my bookshelf a little bit and pick a couple other books that kind of caught my fancy, and then I'm going to read the synopsis in a couple pages of each and then decide if any of them catch my eye. So, book number 1 is Hallow by Caroline Peckham and Suzanne Valenti. They wrote a bunch of series. Their most popular one is Zodiac Academy. I have not read that series. I would like to eventually, but it's a fat series, like long series. So I'm waiting on that a little bit. But this one does actually kind of give off spring vibes. Like I had the pink dragon version, which I feel like pink dragon's very springy, right? So it does still fit the theme. And this one I don't know much about. I just know it's a fantasy romantasy, and there's something about her having to enter the forest to join the hunt, and I think she meets a dragon in there. I'm not really sure. She is a human in a world of magical creatures. That is what I know, but that is my first option. And then option number 2 is The Elsewhere Express by Samantha Soto Yambao. This, again, is very beautiful and very much gives off spring vibes. Actually, let me show you guys how pretty this really is. Hopefully you guys can hear me. This will be a test, but I'm sorry. This book is absolutely gorgeous. Just so gorgeous, and I'm obsessed with it. They even have a little part where you can color in it. So, like, this is so cute, and yeah, I think it's gonna be really cute. But this is a fantasy, like a cozy fantasy, and it's about our main character who is kind of struggling in life. She lost her brother, and she stopped living her dreams and started living his dreams. And one day when she's on the subway, she suddenly finds herself on the Elsewhere Express, which is a magical train that only shows up when people need it, and it leads you to your life's purpose. So that sounds really good, especially with where I'm at right now in life, kind of focusing on like becoming the best version of me. I feel like that might be a really good read for me right now. I'm not sure, but that is book number 2. And then we have book number 3. I have 4 books, by the way. So book number 3 is Wild Dark Shore by Charlotte McConaughey. This is a fiction with some thriller and romance mixed in, I believe, and it is about a family who lives alone on an island, and they are in charge of a seed bank. So they store all the seeds there in the world so that if the world ever needs a certain kind of seed, we have a storage of it somewhere. So Marvel, they they live at the seed bank, and then a woman washes ashore one day, and mysterious things start to happen. So that sounds good as well. And finally, we have how is that springy for this vlog? I think a seed bank and seeds are spring because you plant many things in the springtime, and that's when things start to bloom. Bam. Finally, we have On Wings of Blood by Briar Bolin. This, there we go. This is a fantasy, like an academic fantasy series. This is book number 1 in the series. I believe there's going to be 4. Book number 3 recently was released. So we have 3 so far, and it takes place in an academy. Our female main character is apparently half fae and the last of the dragon riders, even though there's no dragons left. And she ends up in an academy with a bunch of vampires, and then she ends up married to one, apparently. This is all on the inside jacket, so no spoilers, but that is book 1 in a series. It is a dark fantasy academic, a dark academia fantasy novel. There we go. And I believe there's romance, and I believe there will be dragons. I believe so, because you can't tell me there's not going to be dragons when that's a cover. So those are my 4 options, and I'm going to be reading. I'm going to reread the synopsis. I'm going to read the first couple pages and see if any of them speak to me. Alright, well, that completely backfired on me because I read the snippets, as you guys saw, and 3 of them caught my interest. 3 of them got me going like, yep. They all sound good and they all sound interesting, but I feel like I'm in the mood for like a fast, gripping tale that like is just gonna move fast and get me right into it, but I'm not gonna have to use my brain too much. Like, I'm focusing my brain on other things right now. When I read, I want my brain to be able to relax and not have to think too much about stuff. So because of that, I think Hollow is out. It just didn't give me the vibes I needed. But On Wings of Blood sounds really good. We're getting right into the action, it sounds like, so that sounds interesting. And it sounds like we get a little like jump ahead to begin, and then we jump back in time, so we know kind of like something's going to be coming, but we now get to learn what it is and how we get there. And then this book just looks like it's gonna be really fun and interesting. It looks like we're getting a bunch of different viewpoints, and the chapters look really short, and I feel like it's just gonna go through it really quickly and fun. So I think that'll be good. And then the last one, this one just looks so fun because I'm sorry. What do you mean this is how it's written? There's like little tickets, and then the beginning of each chapter is like a question, and there's like this frequently. It just looks so fun. It looks like such a fun adventure read. So I don't know what to start with. I'm thinking one of these 2. I don't think I should start a series yet. I think I should read a standalone. So I'm thinking one of these 2 I will start reading and see what gets my interest, and see like I'm just gonna pick one and read like a chapter and see if I want to keep going. Or read like whatever, 50 pages. But I think I'm gonna go with one of these 2. And they're both more springy than this one too. On Wings of Blood does not give spring to me at all. It gives like fall to me. So these definitely give more spring to me, since this is a spring vlog technically. I'm a mood reader, so my vlogs are whatever I want them to be. But whatever my mood wants them to be, let's be honest. But I am trying to stay on theme, so I think these two are more springy. So we're going to give one of these two a try and see how it goes.
Of course, there's noise outside, but we'll move you then. There's nothing I can do about that. But, friends, I don't like this lighting. Actually, it's nice. Okay. So, it is now Sunday, and as you guys saw yesterday, I decided to start Wild Dark Shore to see if I was in the mood for that, and I finished the entire book. Yeah, I read the entire book yesterday in like an afternoon/evening. I mean, I didn't finish till like 12:15 at night, but like, yeah, I read the entire thing. So I guess you could say I'm definitely not in a reading slump, and this mood reader just needed something that she was in the mood for, which apparently was clearly this book. It's just, I feel like this book is such a fast read. First of all, it's only like 298 pages, so it's not that long in the first place, which is very helpful. But it's also, the chapters are so very short. There's not a chapter that, hello, I just talking about my book. Me and Django with my oranges.
Careful, Django, you remember. Over.
They're trying to break it so they get a new one. Hey, posture yourself. The chapters of this book are super short, so I don't think there's a chapter that's longer than maybe like, don't quote me on this, but maybe like 10-ish pages. They're all super short, and there's so many different viewpoints. We get 5 or 6 different viewpoints, and sorry, my cats are scratching behind me and fighting, so I'm sorry if you can hear that, but we get so many different viewpoints, and each chapter like switches viewpoint to viewpoint, so you get all these different opinions and insights and thoughts, and it's really, really fun, and I think it makes it a really fast read, and it's gripping, and there's this mystery about it, and you can't wait to see how the mystery pans out, and there's twists, and there's so much. I am a huge nature fan, and this takes place on a remote island near Antarctica, and there's so much about like the wildlife there, and there's so much about the seeds that are in the seed vault, and I loved that part of it. I loved the scientific part of it and the nature part of it, and learning a little bit more about stuff. I thought that was such a fun way to throw things in, and it was kind of like obviously connected to the storyline, and I really enjoyed that. And this book is definitely very emotional. There's a lot of different things that you go through, and there's a lot about found family and about what us as humans have done to the natural world and how that may have impacted things, and the ghosts or scars or just what that leaves behind. And it was just a really good, interesting book, and I really enjoyed it, and I thought it was so fun. I don't know what to rate it. There was one thing about the end that I didn't love. I understand why the story was written that way, but like, didn't love it. So I feel like, I don't know if maybe it brings it down to like a 3.75 for me, or it might be a 4. I'm not positive. I think I need to think on it a little bit more, but it's feeling like a 3.75 to a 4. Really enjoyed it. Honestly, obviously, read it in a day, but really fun, and yeah, I really liked it. Clearly, I just needed something like this to get me back out of my reading slump and into the mood to read, and it was really good. If you're looking for kind of like a fiction book that, like I said, is a fast read, multiple viewpoints, there's thriller, there's romance, there's questionable, like, not necessarily narrators. I get narrators because they are narrating it, so like you don't really know who to trust, and it's just a really good book, so I do definitely recommend this one. And then I am going to be starting the Elsewhere Express. You guys saw me thinking about this yesterday. This is it without the dust jacket on. It's so pretty. It's so pretty. So I'm going to be starting this one and seeing where it takes me. It's such a fun read, and like the beginning has all these fun tickets and stuff. Like, look at that. And it says, first leg, everywhere. The soul which has no fixed purpose in life is lost. To be everywhere is to be nowhere. Then you turn the page, and we have like another little ticket, and it says, welcome aboard. Dearest guest, thank you for choosing the Elsewhere Express. We hope that you had a pleasant boarding experience and find your accommodations to your liking. As you begin your journey, we would like to remind you that while we do our best to ensure your utmost comfort and safety, you must remain mindful of your personal belongings. We cannot be responsible for any valuables, baggage, or souls that are lost. On behalf of the crew, welcome aboard. Sincerely yours, the conductor. And then we have a little your itinerary, and it says meet the passengers. We go to the first page, it says who can board the Elsewhere Express? Frequently asked questions, the Elsewhere Express passenger handbook. And yeah, we get right into it. So I'm excited. And it's so pretty, and I can't wait to see what it's about. So I'm excited to start this one. I feel like this one gives off a lot of spring vibes too. So we'll see how this goes. Maybe, I doubt I'll read this whole thing today because I'm not going to sit around and read for like 6 hours again. But hopefully I'll get a good chunk in so I can give you guys an update before we have to finish this off. Hey, no fighting, kitties. Sorry, they're fighting right above you. Precarious. Okay. So, friends, it is time. Words. Okay, my friends, it is time for our final check-in of this reading vlog, and as you guys saw, I did read Wild Dark Shores in one day, and after sleeping on it and thinking on it, I do think it is a 3.75 out of 5 stars. That's just the feeling I'm getting from it. I really, really enjoyed it. It was such a fun, fast, gripping read, and I loved all the natural elements to it. And I thought it was really good, so I really enjoyed that one. And then I did get the chance to start The Elsewhere Express by Samantha Soto Yambao, and I did not get very far into it. I only ended up getting maybe 42 pages. I read like the first chunk of like section. It's kind of split up into different little sections. You can see there's like a ticket right here, and it's split up into different sections. So I read the first like section or two, and I really like it so far. I think it definitely gives off really cozy vibes and really spring vibes, and I think if you want a cozy fantasy, this is definitely a great read. I am only 40 pages in it, so I can't tell you for sure if this is a great read, but so far that's the vibes I'm getting. It's giving very cozy, it's giving very spring, it's giving very philosophical, so expect to have a lot of quotes that either you're going to enjoy or that are going to try to like teach you something or give you a little bit of like a snippet, like a fortune cookie, little aspirational motivational saying, stuff like that. So let me read you a couple so that it makes more sense what I'm saying. I wrote a couple down because So we have, our female main character, her name is Hireya, and Hireya has a meaning, and it was the power of the mind to bring that which did not exist into being. So I just thought that was really cool. So it's like basically the power of the mind to create something brand new. And then I also have smiles were the easiest of deceptions and the prettiest of open wounds, because basically just how even when you're broken inside, like you can still smile and no one will necessarily know that you're literally like bleeding from an open wound. You could be having a terrible time, but with a smile you can deceive everyone. And then a final one is tears choked you, rage kept you breathing, anger needed air to fan the flames. And I just thought that was a really interesting quote too. So it has a bunch of like quotes like that, and it sounds like it's going to be a really fun journey of her finding herself. So far she's just kind of like figuring out what's going on with the whole train. She's like gone from the subway to the Elsewhere Express, and she's trying to figure out why. So I really like it so far, and I think it's really enjoyable, and I think it's going to be really fun, definitely whimsy. I don't think I said that. It's definitely like a fun, whimsy, cozy fantasy read, and I'm really excited to finish it up. But we will not be finishing it up together in this vlog because it is time to end it off. I would love to know what you guys read this week down below, and let me know any good spring book recommendations that you have, because it's just the beginning of spring. We have a lot of spring left to go, and this mood reader loves to read based on season. So please let me know any recs you have down below, and I'd really appreciate that. Thank you guys so much for being here and watching this video. Do be sure to hit that like button and subscribe so that you can see all my new content. Hope you guys are having a fabulous March, a fabulous start to your spring, and Rambo's jumping again. And I will see you guys in my next one. Live well, read lots and lots of good books, and go discover, my friends. Bye.